Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo flawless Operation Sadra shield. For my subclass, I'll be using Night Stalker. Here are the mods and the fragments I'll be using in this video. All the mods and the weapons will be in the description below on Dim. Mainly, this is going to be a mini warmind build. For this video, I decided to go for Hunter. Reason is because I forgot to finish the story mode on my Titan Warlock, and I might as well just go on Hunter this week. So mainly this path where I'm taking right now is very safe on Warlock and Hunter. I tested out with no invisibility, by the way. So I did go for the run under 30 minutes, and I barely made it on my Hunter. With Fire Team Medic, Global Reach, and the hint of Warmind's protection, it really makes this run not too stressful. Especially for players who are going for the solo flawless, I do recommend going for the Warmind cell build. Now be careful with the lasers, they can one-shot you. I'm sure there's an upgrade where it won't one-shot you. A prediction, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm assuming right now, since this is a day 1 exotic mission. Alright, so now we're gonna be picking up the mod called the scanner. Mainly, you have to look for the yellow highlights and you have to scan it. Now it says hack, but we're gonna call it scan since it is called the scanner, so it won't be too confusing. So I still have the scanner on, so it's around 3 of them in this room. 1 from the left, 1 from the back, 1 from the right. Now we're actually going to go in space. It's just fantastic. I mean, in the dungeon, I was a guardian electrician in the dungeon, right? And now I'm going to go in space for this exotic mission. The Zephyr shield. So I did get a tiny bit lost, not 100%, but I do want to take off this buff. So I go over here and hold square. I forgot the button for Xbox. I don't remember. But make sure you go over there and then you can take off the buff. Now I am going to clear a couple of ads, or you can skip them if you are going for the under 30 minutes. Mainly you want to clear down a couple of ads and you want to be the scanner again, just like from the raid. So I do need to look for the highlights. There is one from the left side or in front of me right now. There should be another scanner. Usually the second one is inside this tunnel. You go in this tunnel and then there should be another yellow scanner that we do need to scan. So we can actually proceed to the next room, I guess. Not area, but room. So I'm just going through the tunnel, just like 0 hour, right? Nothing bad will happen over here. Just taking my time-ish, halfway. So just make sure you clear a couple ads and then we should proceed to the next area. My bad for this, so I apologize if your eyes will hurt here, because right now my eyes hurt. Ow. My eyes hurt. So I was being a little greedy. I wanted to scan that object up there, which it disappears, so it's already scanned it. Now I'm gonna go abuse this adorable baby servitor with the dance finisher and take off this mod. I don't want to be a scanner anymore, not yet. We do need to take off the scanners so we can open the door. So now I'm going to clear a couple of ads, and then during this section we have to get the scanner, yes. So I'm going to be spamming Warmind cell build because it's really fun. Let's just be honest. I love warminds. Warminds is actually one of my favorites. So you will see me do a lot of warmind cell builds. So I'm going to pick up the scanner and now we're going to look for the yellow highlights. There should be one somewhere in the room, and then once we get the first highlight yellow that we do need to scan, there should be one in the tunnel. So the tunnel is actually on top where you see these sniper shanks. You could just pop a wither horde and then you could just move to the tunnel. Now during this section, embarrassingly, I did die on my first attempt, so just make sure you be extremely careful with the lasers. So you can see we're a scanner and we're going to hack this object. Now we're going to be scouting around and then we should be able to proceed to the next area. Now I am just clearing ads because they're getting in the way. Like I said, you don't have to do that, but we do need to take off this buff. So I'm going to take off this scanner buff. So mainly what you have to do is look from the window from the left side. While you're a scanner, it will tell you which switch you need to scan. Once you do that, then you have to take off the buff. Go to the room and then make sure you scan the right object. So I apologize for that, my hunter is going way too fast. So once we scan the object, now we're gonna go actually proceed to the next area. I got a little mini lost. Sometimes you can get lost in this room because there's just so many doors. We want to go around here, especially when it has these mines. So this is where it tells you where to go, or you can guide yourself of where the remaining ads are from the map. So we have these turrets, so I'm just going to take one down. I want to skip them since I am going for the solo flawless under 30 minutes. You can also spend your time just doing the warmind cell build, or you can skip them and then just look at the highlights. So over here, we actually have to go and get these 3 switches. So I was reading it in my mind, by the way, so I apologize. I am going way too, my character is going way too fast here. And I memorize everything, so usually you have to go to certain steps and make sure you don't go to the wrong one. Just like 0 hour, except this one's a little bit more harsher because we have to make sure we go to the right square platforms and we have to get the right switches. So you can see over here, it is right, left, and middle. Right, left, and middle. It's extremely RNG. You will also have a very different or the same. So it's right, left, and middle for me. I was just looking, memorizing it. I didn't take a photo. And then the squares is always the same. So I did memorize the squares. So for me, everyone's different. I go for 5 squares, 3, 3, 3, 3. It's almost similar if you guys play the GoldenEye 007. If anyone remembers getting the golden gun, you have to go to a certain pattern, certain squares to get the golden gun. Kind of like that, I would say. But anyway, I was just trying to count. Usually it's 5 and 3, 3. And I remember it was going to be the right one. Okay, I definitely got it. So I was being very cautious over here. So it's going to be the right. And then I'm going to go back to the other square. To the middle switch. Then I'm going to go 3 squares again. 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be the right switch for me. I mean left switch for me. My bad. And then the next one is going to be the middle. So I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's basically what I'm doing over here. So I did memorize the pattern and the floor. You can also take a picture as well if you do want to make sure you don't get it wrong for your solo flawless. So once I do that, now we're going to have a new mod, a new buff called the Operator. And no, it doesn't mean being an electrician. like the dungeon. Basically, being an operator, just like the raid, you have to shoot these red highlights. Usually it's at around 2 or 1. Now for this one, I would say 1, and then the door will open. Once the door opens, you could take your time clearing the ads, unless you're going for under 30 minutes, then just skip them, maybe kill a couple of curse thralls, and then hit the second switch from the left side. There is one from the left side. Once you hit there, then the door should open, and then we're going to be dealing with the shriekers. Now this is actually the perfect time to have a warmind cell in that room. I didn't do that on this video. I did on my other attempts, but I accidentally died. Positive side, you don't have to have a warmind cell there. You could just spam Will of the Horde, and then just make sure you clear a couple ads here and there. So now I'm gonna go and I'm still operator, by the way. There are still more switches I need to shoot. So there's one up ahead here. Then we get out of the tunnel, and then we should be able to go to another tunnel. And I think on this part, I did forget a tiny bit of where it is specifically. So I was looking for it. It's around from the left side. And these curse thralls were getting away. You could skip them, by the way. You don't have to clear them down. For me, I did since they were in the way. And then we go to this tunnel from the left side. Once we do that, you can use your super, or you can use a warmind cell build. I was just skipping a couple ads because I am in a rush a bit. So I jump over the cursed thralls. You can also jump over them if you don't want to shoot them, to save more time if you want to. That is also another method you can do. So I decided to go up ahead, and then we're going to go to the next room. So now we need to get the key, the room key. That's what pretty much the objective says from the Seraph Shield Operative mission. Now there is going to be turrets from the top middle, and then from the left. Now it seems that you have to clear all the ads, including the turrets, to go to the next area or to take away the buff. So make sure if you have your super, use your super, or if you are using the warmind build, which I highly recommend. Spam warmind cells with global reach, and then you should be able to go to the next room. Now just clear all the ads. We're still operator. There should be another turret that's hiding a little from the left side. If not, I probably clear it out. So now we have to take off the buff so we can open the door. So we're going to take off operator. And now we're going to go to the next area. Now this is going to be the mini boss. So what's going to happen over here is you need to shoot the barrels, and then you have to do at least a quarter of the boss's health. Once the boss's health is quarter from the 3 bars, he will escape, that coward, and we will have to deal with 3 brigs. So now I'm going to be waiting for the brigs to spawn. There's one from the left, one from the right, and one in the middle. I usually get the middle first because, well, these shank snipers always try to snipe me. So I just go for the middle first, and then I deal with the brigs from the left and the right. So there's one in the middle. I just use my super right away. Once I do that, then you could just use the sword. Now I am using the stasis sword with chill clip. And I thought it'd be fun to use a dawning sword for this week since it is the dawning event. I mean, you don't have to use a stasis sword. You can use a void sword, by the way. Doesn't really matter 100% so much, but I do recommend trying out chill clip with the dawning sword. It really, really, really helps a lot. So now, after we take down the 3 brigs, you will have to clear all these fallen ads, these snipers. You can actually abuse and take advantage of the warmind cell build You can also shoot Will the Whore and then switch to your submachine gun so you can get a higher chance of getting warmind cell. So that's basically what I did for this mini boss room. We will be dealing with the first boss later. So mainly just want to clear all the ads. Spam warmind cells with Fire Team Medic. Highly recommend, by the way. Try it out. And then you should be able to go to the next room. So we're actually going to go to space, actual space very soon. And it's going to be extremely fun. Okay, so everything looks perfect. So I'm gonna grab some heavy ammo, well, all my ammo. And now we're gonna deal with the next room. So mainly I would say 60%, maybe more, is just puzzle. Jumping a bit, getting the mods, the operator, scanner, and then we're going to be introduced the suppressor very soon. So during this part we have to surrender our weapons so we can go teleport to space. So I'm going to be surrendering my weapons to the baby Servitor because it's just so adorable. Isn't it just so cute? From the Goddess of Everrise dungeon. Well, kinda. You know. But anyway, I'm gonna be grabbing the weapons and we're actually gonna go to space. It's just great. So during this area you can skip a whole bunch of ads. All you have to do is just scan the 2 switches. Both of them are from the left side. So you can skip around this area. You don't have to clear all the ads here. Because what we're going to do over here is scan the next switch and then deal with the turrets. Now the one thing I haven't shown so much is you can actually use a sword to 2-shot the turrets. The reason why I didn't do it so much is because sometimes it doesn't hit the turret, but you can also block. You can block with your sword when it is shooting at you. I know I didn't talk so much about it, but it's just a tip if you do want to rush. And I didn't do it so much in this video, which I should have done, to be honest. Now we're going to be in space and there's going to be these jumping platforms. Now I didn't use stompies. I honestly was just so lazy to switch to stompies. I mean, for the Warlock and Titan, you know, it doesn't really matter so much. But for the Hunter, well, you see, you would have to make sure you do the light swing, jump, and light swing, jump for the Hunter. Just make sure you don't fall down. I mean, imagine you do all that hard work and then you die from space. I mean, wouldn't that just be sad? I mean, honestly, I would feel horrible because you know what? It happened to me. Funny story about that. So I am skipping a couple of ads up ahead. I do need to take down these snipers. They were just in the way. I mean, yes, I could skip them. I'll be honest. I honestly want to skip them, but I couldn't. So I just used my super because I can't see because I forgot to shoot the mines again. I keep forgetting for some reason. Just make sure you know your surroundings because there is this particular pillar right here that can send you off to orbit. Well, not orbit, but to your death. Now there is going to be snipers up ahead and then we're going to be the operator. Yes, the operator. And I keep forgetting of shooting the mines. My bad for that. So what you do over here is you can deal with the sniper shanks. Once you do pick up the operator, there should be 2 switches, well around 3. Usually there's one from the left side and the right side, and then there's one all the way from the far left. When you do shoot those mini objects, you will have these mini platforms that will spawn, so make sure you be very careful of your jumping, especially on Hunter, and just use a sword. Just use a sword so you can know where you're going and then not accidentally jump over the platform. So I'm not going to skip these ads up here. Just going to take advantage of visibility, since I am trying to do a under 30-minute run. So right now I'm just skipping all these snipers, skipping all these ads. Mainly what you want to do over here is skip them, or you can clear them down if you are not going for under 30 minutes. And you want to take off the buff. Once you do that, the door should open. And then this is actually the perfect time for you to pick up heavy, because now we're going to deal with the boss that escape from our previous run, right? And you can just spam Will Little Horde and then just spam the sword. So now I'm going to be just dealing DPS with this boss with the Dawning Sword. And now we can actually proceed to the next room. Now we have to deal with the second boss. So now during this part, we actually have to pick up the operator once again. This is when we have to look for the red highlights. I would say around 2 switches. So I did pick it up, so there's one from the left side, one from the right side. Once you do that, the door should open, and then this is when you need to take off the buff and then pick up the scanner, because we need to scan the yellow highlights, the yellow objects, when we do become the scanner. Just be aware of the explosive shanks, because they can sometimes sneak up on you, and of course turrets can sometimes be in the way. So there is the scanner right up ahead. I'm just shooting these turrets, even though I could just skip them and not bother myself with them. But you know, it's just having way too much fun with the warmind cell build. So now I'm going to pick up the scanner. I'm going to scan this yellow highlight object and then scan the next one. There should be one from the room from the left side. Once we do that, we should go to the next area, and I think this is when we actually have to learn of how to be a suppressor. Well, my mistake on that. So we do need to take off the buff for this scanner. Now we have to pick up the operator. So during this part, I do recommend to take out the turret from the middle. Take out the turret from the middle. Then you could pick up the operator. And we have to shoot 1 or 2 of the highlights. So for this one, I shot only 1. And the door should open. So the door opened from the right side, and you can see there is a scanner fallen, which we need to take down. So we actually had to take off the buff, by the way, so we could pick up the scanner. So we're going to take off the buff from here and then pick up the scanner. And just be very careful of this one. So pick up the scanner. For me, just be very careful. I just couldn't by myself shooting down the turret, to be honest. I just decided to turn invisible and just scan it and then just make my way. Alright, so now we get to deal with this part. So we're gonna take off the buff. And we're gonna be learning of how to be a suppressor, finally. So mainly, the color is blue, and what you have to do is stand on these little platforms, these white rings. Once you do that, you have to break the shield, and the boss, well, the baby servitors, will glow blue. So you have to keep shooting it until it is gone. Once you do that, then you have to shoot the scanners, and then you should be able to get rid of the boss. So this is gonna be the final boss. Now the mistake I did over here is I should have used my super at the second phase, not the first phase. Reason why is during the second phase and the third phase there is just a lot of ads just going riot on you. Alright, so I'm gonna pick up the suppressor. We're gonna go to the yellow rings, basically this area where it has a highlight. Basically the highlight. So we need to shoot 3 times and just pray for console aim assist, by the way. Pray for console aim assist because there's going to be a lot of that, especially trying to rush and deal with the final boss. I had to pull back, and then of course I need to, the third time I need to break the shield and make sure I get that done. So once you break the shield while being suppressor, now you have to get rid of the, let's just call them scanners. Usually there's one from the left, from the right, and one from the middle. Now the good news is that there's no RNG, they're not going to move around, so they'll always stay in place during the boss phase. So once we do pop a little horde, we do DPS on the boss, and we go to the final phase. So the final phase is basically the same thing, where we do need to go to the highlights. Well, first we have to get the suppressor buff. Then we need to break the shield 3 times. And I'm gonna pray for console aim assist because sometimes I can't hit the shield of the boss. So right now I'm just gonna shoot until the blue highlight's gone, or you will hear a sound effect. So once I do that, there should be one more from the top left or the top right. So I am looking for the boss. There he is. Now we're gonna get rid of these. We're gonna get rid of these floating shanks. Basically these scanners. So we can break the shield 3 times. So we can break the shield and actually do DPS at the boss. Usually those 3 scanners are the ones that is making the shield, is making the boss go immune. So we do want to break the white shield. And once we do that, we can just do DPS at the boss for the final phase. So now I'm just gonna spam Dawning Sword. And I was being very reckless here, so just make sure you use Will the Horde. Once I defeat the boss, I just quickly go to the next room, and then scan, and hopefully I'll complete this mission. So we got the run under 30 minutes. Yay for that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.